Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day. Just want to go ahead and start off the show with that. Happy Martin Luther King Day. If you had the day off work, good for you. It is a day where we remember somebody who, throughout our history, wanted to tear down state barriers to individuals being able to exercise their liberty. And so, I don't have to really go too much further into that, other than to say that, if you're from Atlanta like I am, you know the importance of the day. You know how people are celebrating out today. So, that being said, thanks for joining me on this rare Monday night podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. It's normally comes to you Wednesdays or Thursday nights. That is still going to be the case throughout the next little while, though. Programming note. You're not going to see another one of these at least until the beginning of February, because I am going to be heading out of the country for a little while, and internet will not be, I won't be in a position to have my microphone and camera set up and all that stuff to be able to do this. But once I am back, we will continue to do weekly live streams to make sure we keep you updated with what's going on with me, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about that in just a moment. But I just want to say thank you to those of you who are watching here. And thanks to those of you who joined me this past weekend. I was out in Peachtree City, Georgia at the Libertarian Party of Georgia convention. It was a great time out there at the Crown Plaza in Peachtree City. Wonderful venue, by the way. Shout out to the folks that helped set up this convention, the hotel, the venue space, to the convention committee that helped get all this going. Shout out to each and every one of you. You did a lot of hard work. That's one of the things that folks don't really think about when they think about planning politics. We see candidates on TV, we see the pundits and the media, but what you really don't see is the people who actually build the business of the party and do the work of the party internally. And part of that is planning a convention where members of the Libertarian Party of Georgia can gather together to host a business meeting, to have a good camaraderie. We have guest speakers, things like this, and we had a great convention. I really enjoyed it. Again, shout out to the venue and to the folks there, and shout out to the people who planned it. We did get some business done, and part of that was nominating candidates, and for the most part, most of those candidates were people who are running statewide. We did have a few people who are running in special elections, and I actually want to shout one of those folks out, which is Andrew Underwood. He is running in the 14th District congressional race. He's actually already qualified. That race is actually coming up in 49 days. It is a sprint. It is a special election. It is the race for the seat that Marjorie Taylor Greene has vacated for the remainder of her term. And there are, I think, over a dozen Republicans. There's a handful of Democrats, but one Libertarian. And we want to make sure we support Andrew in this race. It is not an easy thing to do a 49-day sprint of a race. So if you want to go, he will have his donation set up soon. Again, this is a very sudden thing, So if you go to Andrew, the number 4, Georgia, Andrew 4, the number, Georgia.com, you can scroll down and join his email list. And you can actually join the Libertarian Party of Georgia's email list while you're there. And then once he is able to take donations, he will happily reach out to you and make sure that we can get things started. So that way, we can run this race and actually have an impact in this very, very important race for Congress. It's going to have a lot of eyeballs on it. And because of this jungle primary system and the runoff system, if we can get Andrew in the top 2, it can be a one-on-one race between a Libertarian and a duopoly candidate. And I think that would be really awesome to see. So, and side note, he's just a really wonderful guy. So get out and support Andrew. But also, let's support the rest of our statewide slate, of which I'm a part of that. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I wasn't planning on running in Georgia. I wasn't planning on being a candidate this time around. But sometimes you kind of get talked into it, which is what happened to me this time. And I say that with all sincerity, that I had just run for president last year. I have spent 2025, while being a member of my state's executive committee and staying connected to politics, not actively running a campaign. And I did enjoy that contrast in life after running 3 election cycles in a row, for Congress in a special election, and then for U.S. Senate in 2022, and for president in 2024. And if you really think about it, from 2021, about the beginning of that year when I started running for Senate, I had been running for some sort of office all the way through November 2024. So about 3 years of my life. And so I'd taken a year off, and I thought I'm probably going to take more time off before I run again. But when we got to the convention and we realized we needed a candidate for governor, we needed somebody who was going to fight for this. I put my name forward. And we also have another great slate of candidates who are running for statewide offices, including our U.S. Senate candidate, Alan Buckley. He's a former candidate for that office. He is going to work hard to get on the ballot for this U.S. Senate race. He has been our candidate for U.S. Senate in the past, and I think he's a great asset to our slate. Katie Gordon, who is going to be running for lieutenant governor, as well as Ted Metz for Secretary of State, and several others we have who are running for statewide offices. We are going to be having to fight to get on the ballot, and that is what is important. The first fight that I'm going to have to fight is not getting into the debates. It's not, it's actually fundraising to file, which I'm going to be starting fundraising very soon. But it's also fundraising to secure ballot access and get the signatures that we need. Because for us to run, any of us, the entire slate, to be on the ballot statewide, we have to collect about 78,000 valid signatures in a signature drive by mid-July. Now, that is a task unto itself. But what's great is we don't have to do this each individual candidate. We are going to be petitioning for our political body, the Libertarian Party of Georgia, to be to be recognized. And once we will have ballot access for all of our statewide candidates according to the way the election law is written. And we've checked with the Secretary of State, and we have really validated this process. So we're going to be working to get these 78,000 signatures, but we need your help. Now, we are going to need to be raising funds. I see a comment here. Is fundraising from outside the state legal? Yes, you can, as long as you're a United States citizen, you can donate to a gubernatorial race. You do have to go through the same process of, putting your information out there, and you will have to submit all that just like you would if you want to donate to a presidential race or a congressional race or your race for mayor, whatever it is. You're going to still have to do that stuff, but you can absolutely donate. In fact, I will be hoping that folks who saw me travel across the country might want to help out this campaign to try to win ballot access in the state of Georgia. But right now, I don't have the donations up for myself, and I will be fundraising to raise the filing fees and to get the campaign rolling. But right now, a great way you can help not just me, but every one of our candidates who want to run statewide is to help us fund ballot access. It is not, while volunteer work is great to collect signatures, the reality is to collect 78,000 signatures by mid-July, we're going to have hired help. We're going to have to pay people who are going to go out into the neighborhoods, in the communities, and get those signatures that we need. And so we need you to join the Libertarian Party of Georgia or donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia if you're already a member, or if you're from out of state and you don't want to, have membership, but you just want to donate. Go to lpgeorgia.com/donate right now. Please do that right now. If you're in the state of Georgia, become a member of the Libertarian Party of Georgia. Yearly membership dues are $30. But also, if you want to donate additionally, you can put in the comments that you want to earmark this for ballot access. You want to earmark this for ballot access petitioning. Let's show that we want to get candidates on the ballot by donating for it. So right now, I'm urging anybody who's watching this, please like and share this. Share this out to your friends. Share this out to your community by reposting it on X, by sharing it on Facebook, by sharing it out on by sharing out the YouTube link. Please do that right now. But also go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. I'm gonna show you right here. Just give me one moment. Let me just pop it right here and share my screen. Give me a moment to do this. So right here, this is what we want you guys to take a look at right here. Donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia. You can donate whatever amount you want. If you want to throw $1,000 in, we'd love it. You can donate any of these preset amounts if you'd like. Again, if you want to donate, $25 or $30 a year just to become a member, that's great. But donate, put in your information. If you can, please, we do have to collect that. That is legality. We have to do that. But in the comments, put, I want this to go to ballot access. So that way, our leadership, I'm a member of the executive committee, but our chair, our vice chair, our other officers, as well as the rest of the executive committee can see that you want this to go towards helping to get candidates on the ballot so we can have a libertarian alternative to the two-party system for every race. We want to have Alan Buckley running for Senate. We want Katie Gordon running for lieutenant governor. We want Chase Oliver running for governor. We want to put these things forward so that we can have a true alternative to the two-party system. And to that end, when the party asked for a candidate to run for governor, I said, we need someone to do it. And a good friend of mine said, you should do it. And you know what? I've run campaigns before. I'm well versed at doing this. And I think it's something that I can do to contribute to the Libertarian Party of Georgia. So I want each and every one of you out there who's watching, whether you live in Georgia or not, please donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia for this ballot access effort. Help us get several candidates on the ballot. This doesn't help just one candidate. Can anyone out of state volunteer or donate to the campaign? Yes, you can. Right now, though, I urge you not to donate to a campaign, one campaign in particular or another, even myself. I'll be doing that in the coming weeks. I have until July to raise the filing fees, and then we will be aggressively campaigning. But in the meantime, we just need to fight to get on the ballot. And so go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. Help our political party get a bunch of candidates on the ballot. Help several campaigns. Help have an entire ticket full of libertarians on your ballot. That's what I urge you and everyone to do right now. So please go there. Go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. And this is what we need to see out there. We need to see a real alternative. We need to be pushing the candidates of the major parties to actually be pushing themselves towards policy that improves the lives of Georgians, that holds Georgia's autonomy away from the federal government, and that supports the ability for people to run a business or to get a job or to help their neighbor. We need to be fighting for real solutions, not just slogans, but actual programs that can phase out things like the income tax, phase out things like regulatory requirements and occupational licensing around businesses that make it easier for us to succeed and thrive in the state of Georgia in spite of what the federal government might be doing. Let's make sure that Georgia is the first state for business. Let's make sure we're fighting to be Georgia first. That's what I want to be doing. Instead of kowtowing to one party or the other in Washington, D.C., it's time that Georgia strikes its independence and says that we are going to fight for the people of Georgia to have a good job, have the ability to have a good living, and to not have to be overburdened by our state with taxes and with other regulatory hurdles that make it harder to live, to succeed, to thrive, and to be a contributing member of our community. That's what I want to see in the state of Georgia, and that's what I'm going to be fighting for, and to put that option on the ballot. But to do that, we need you to join the Libertarian Party and to help donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia. So if you live in the state, join the party. Let's pump our numbers up. If you're from outside of the state, just donate to our party and say that you want to see the Libertarian Party of Georgia have a slate of candidates by putting in the comments of your donation that this needs to go for ballot access. I urge you to donate tonight. The more money we raise in the next 48 hours, the more serious people are going to take this ballot access drive. The more quickly we can get people on the streets to be getting petitions signed, because we need to be collecting as many as we can. Roughly about 500 a day if we start in the next week until mid-July, just to get ourselves there. And we're going to actually have to surpass 78,000 because the government does toss a lot of these signatures out. There's sometimes redundancies or inconsistencies. And then, of course, anything they'll do to try to keep a third party down. So we need your help. If you want to see a true alternative to what you're going to see on your ballot, I urge you to join and to donate. Donated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for donating. Do exactly what Building Fins Up is doing right now and donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia. We need your help. Thank you very much for your donation. Does this mean you're shaving the beard? No, the beard will be staying. In fact, I want to see if I can improve my vote totals for my 2022 Senate race by having the beard. I didn't have the beard for the Senate race. I want to have it for the gubernatorial race. We'll see what plays better with the public. So that'll just be my little my little experiment that we do throughout the campaign. But in all seriousness, no, I like the beard. I think the beard looks good. And several people have said you should have campaigned with the beard when you ran for president. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe it goes off at some point, but for right now, no foreseeable change to the beard in the future. Now, please, folks, go to lpgeorgia.com/donate if you want to see an alternative. Trust me, we had a great convention full of wonderful libertarians who are ready to run for office if we can overcome the barriers that the state puts in our way. And that's exactly what's happening. The state itself is doing everything they can to prevent competition from appearing on their ballot. And here's the thing, we have runoffs in the state of Georgia. We're not stealing votes. We're not spoiling elections. What we're doing is giving each and every voter an honest choice that's an alternative to one or both of the major parties that are out there. We need your help to do that, though. And to overcome that hurdle, we do need you to donate to the Libertarian Party of Georgia and to become a member of the Libertarian Party of Georgia. Doing so will get you regular communications from our leadership about what we're doing to try to improve liberty across the state, including fighting back against the over-surveillance, new surveillance technology, AI, other things that are trying to be brought into the state to reduce your privacy, reduce your liberty, and give the government more power over how you go about your life. We want libertarians to be able to fight back against those initiatives, and we need folks like yourself to join the Libertarian Party. We want to push back against federal encroachment on our liberty and say that the state of Georgia can run itself how we want to and not have the feds trying to push their policy upon us, whether it's taxation, whether it's any kind of policy that's coming down from on high. We want to say that Georgia should be able to run Georgia, and that we're not going to sit here and watch as the 10th Amendment is stepped on while the citizens of Georgia suffer the consequences. This is my promise to you. As your candidate for governor, I will fight for each and every person in the state of Georgia to have their liberty protected, to see that anytime they interact with the government, that the government knows it has to play by the rules, it has to respect each and every person's inherent rights and respect their liberty and not encroach upon the activity that peaceful people might want to do in their own free time in their own lives. This is my promise to you, that I'm going to fight to do everything I can, step by step, to take the government out of your lives, to take the government out of making it harder to help our neighbors, to help start a business, to help get a job. We want to see success in the state of Georgia. We want to see a thriving economy. We want to see a state that is on the rise, even as other states might be faltering. That's what I want to see for the state of Georgia. We want to remain competitive. We want to be the best Georgia we can be. And that's what I want to fight for. But to do that, we need to have an alternative on the ballot. We cannot just settle for one of the lesser of two evils in each and every race statewide. This isn't just about the race for governor, but as your candidate for governor, I can tell you I'm going to fight in that race. But I know we have candidates for lieutenant governor, for U.S. Senate, and for a whole host of other races that need to have an alternative voice to the two-party system. I encourage you to please go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. lpgeorgia.com/donate right now and join the Libertarian Party of Georgia. I'm also going to be a delegate to our national convention. That was another thing that happened at our state convention. We did elect our delegates to go to the national convention in Grand Rapids in May. I will be there, hoping to speak to the delegates as a former candidate for president and current candidate for governor, and urge them to support both this ballot access race and fighting for liberty in the Peach State, and also what we can talk about nationally as a party to really be an alternative to both the Democrats and the Republicans going forward into the midterms and beyond. I'll also be there to do the work of the party. Much like I was a delegate to our state convention, I will be a delegate to the national convention, and being there to do the inter-party business that a lot of people don't really get a huge preview into. But here's my announcement. I will be doing lots of these live streams from the Libertarian Party National Convention in May. I will be giving you an insider view as to what delegates do on the floor, as well as the business and what's actually happening at the party. So that's going to be an exciting thing that I'm going to be doing in May. But in between now and then, look for me to be out there getting petitions signed and looking to raise money to get more and more people out there to help get ballot access petitions signed. Again, I urge you to help us get an entire slate of candidates through with our ballot access petition. by going to lpgeorgia.com/donate. Please donate as much as you can. And in the comment section, say, I want to fight for ballot access. That will give our executive committee the notice that we need to be putting our fundraising exactly where the people want it to go. And that means hiring ballot access petitioners and making sure that each and every Georgia voter has a Libertarian they can vote for statewide, and not just one, but several, who will be putting it to the two-party system and saying, this is what the people want: liberty, freedom, and the ability to live their lives in peace. With that, I'm going to keep it short tonight. I will be more long form. We'll be talking a lot more about my platform going forward as this rolls out. But in the meantime, we are really pushing hard to get ballot access in the first place. Doesn't really matter if I have a platform if we're not even getting on the ballot. So we have to overcome this hurdle first. And I urge you, if you supported me for president and you want to help the Libertarian Party of Georgia, get out there and do this. Even if it's $20 or $30, that will help us get paid petitioners out there. Think about this. Usually costs between $5 and $10 per signature. Times that times 80,000. That's, the maximum ceiling of what we're trying to raise here. We're going to do as much as we can using volunteer efforts, and I will be out there getting signatures as much as I can. Has any part of my platform changed since my 2024 campaign, says Connor? I mean, not much, other than the fact that we're going to be making things much more Georgia specific. That platform in 2024 that I ran on for president was really talking about the federal policy, federal laws, and we're going to be getting much more peach state specific when we talk about running for governor, because you are running to be the chief executive of the state, having to deal with the state legislature, state legislative priorities, the issues that do matter to Georgians most. But generally, if you see my platform for my 2024 campaign, you can generally see what I want to be doing in the state of Georgia as well, making it easier for people to work, reducing taxation, reducing the state's impact, and improving your ability to have a positive impact on your life and the life in your community. So that's what I want to be fighting for. And that's what the Libertarian Party generally fights for. So I urge you to get out there, to go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. Thank you to those who have already donated. If you have donated, please say so in the comments. I see Building Fins Up said so. With that being said, I hope you guys continue to watch this going forward. We'll have a lot of exciting information coming out. And I'm really excited for this. Again, this kind of happened suddenly for me. It was not something I literally walked in expecting to do until I talked to a few folks, and in the moment I said, you know what, it's time to step up again. And maybe this will be my last campaign, who knows? But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be fighting to be the next governor of the state of Georgia. But to do that first, I'm going to be fighting to actually have alternative choices on the ballot in Georgia, which I find to be very important. And if you find that to be important as well, go to lpgeorgia.com/donate. Thank you very much, each and every one of you who's watching. Again, if you're watching on X, please repost this. If you're watching on Facebook, please share it out. If you've seen this on YouTube, share it to all your friends using the links. Do all of the things, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on whatever platform you're on. Make sure you're helping to spread this message. So as we go throughout the election cycle and into the midterms, into 2026, and the election cycle here in Georgia, that you have a libertarian voice putting it out there for you. Thank you very much. Peace, love, and liberty to each and every one of you.